Are you a purpose-driven entrepreneur struggling to get web traffic that converts into paying clients? Stop wasting time and money. Discover how to position yourself as the go-to authority in your niche or industry. Infuse your wow website with the best unmarketing strategies and drive traffic to your website that converts to leads and clients. Listen to the Unmarket Your Business podcast today and watch as your ideal clients find you with ease. Let's head into the studio now with our hostess with the mostest, Carol J. Dunlop. Hey everyone, it's Carol J. Dunlop, your online wow strategist and 10-time best-selling author. I've been busy since the last time we visited each other. Okay, so I'm back. The podcast is back. I've resurrected it. I've relaunched it. Whatever you want to say. We are back, and we are back in style. How about that? I started the Unmarket Your Business podcast in 2017 when I was launching my book of the same name, Unmarket Your Business, 10 Ways for Savvy Entrepreneurs to Stand Out, Stop Struggling, and Start Profiting. So I wanted to make sure that I got the word out, that everybody knew what was going on, what they needed to do to make their business a success. So I wrote the book. And in order to market the book, I started a podcast. And I also did a summit of all the people. Well, I did a summit, and then all the people that I had in the summit, I invited them to be my special guests on the podcast. So it was really symbiotic, I guess, because it all worked together. And I kept that podcast going for almost 200 episodes. I know I hit 100, but it was almost 200 episodes. I was so excited. And then guess what? 2020 happened. And it wasn't a bad thing. It was that I needed to kind of revamp, reinvent, redo some things, rejuvenate, and all that. And I started working with this coach. Shout out to Amy Walker, who is a fantastic business strategist, money strategist, idea strategist. I think right now she's helping people to get out of their businesses if you want to, sell it and stuff. I think that's what she's doing now. But she was fantastic for me. I got in her course. It was awesome. I met so many awesome people that I am still in contact with today. So anyway, I created a program called the Authority Creators Lab. And to promote that program, she was like, well, why don't you start a podcast? Because I think she had started doing something similar. And I was like, well, can I just use my Unmarket Your Business podcast? She was like, no, we want to start something new. We want to get a new audience, all this new stuff. And reluctantly, I did that. And I kept the Authority Creators podcast going for, I guess, about a year. I still have some episodes that I need to release, and I'm going to release them on this podcast, the Unmarket Your Business podcast. And they're not going to be in any order, but I do want to get those guests who came in and took the time to record with me. I want to give them their due, right? So I will be releasing those because it's some great information in there. We talked about some great stuff, things that you need to do. And although it was in the middle of the pandemic, which was in itself awesome, I never got to really take that podcast to where I really wanted to get with it. Although the program went phenomenally well. I went from being a 3-time best-selling author to now a 10-time best-selling author. So the program, the Authority Creators Lab, and talking about how to create a best-selling book, start an influential podcast, and become an expert summit producer, that went awesome. But the podcast itself, I don't know. It just didn't hit me the way I thought it would. And you know how we do when you are not feeling something the way you should be feeling it, you're feeling some kind of way or whatever, you just stop doing it. And that's what I did. I stopped doing it. So I apologize to all those people who came on that we had great conversation and stuff like that. I am going to put them on here so we can continue that conversation. They can get their exposure and hopefully forgive me for not bringing them out sooner. But now the story is that I have revamped, reorganized, reworked the Unmarket Your Business podcast, and it is super awesome because it was awesome before, I'm telling you, but now it is just super awesome, right? I can't wait for you guys to listen to it. So I'm going to actually tell you about the things that I've changed, things that I've added, all this all this good craziness that I've been into. I'm looking at my notes right now because I'm looking like I need to change something. No, I'm not going to change that right now. You know how it is. I'm a work in progress. We're all entrepreneur working in progress. So, hey there. Would you like to be a guest on the Unmarket Your Business podcast? Simple. All you need to do is go to unmarketyourbusiness.com/podcast. Why the relaunch? The relaunch is, I felt it in my spirit that I needed to do it. God actually gave me a spiritual download that put that podcast back on action, honey. You had it, off the cuff, off the stove, off the range, where anything you can say. You've been doing that for about 4 years now. And, God has blessed me so much to meet so many awesome people, to help almost 70 authors become best-selling authors, right? And the program and all of that. And that, the thing is, in the Unmarket Your Business book, the very first chapter is write a best-selling book, or write that book. It's something I can't see it right now. I'm in a new place where all of our stuff is not with me where it needs to be, but slowly getting there. So I can't remember exactly what's in it as far as the exact wording of chapter 1. But I know it's right. It's either write a book or write a best-selling book. I can't remember which one, but what does it matter? It means write a book, right? So I started with that, and now I'm like, I'm a 10-time best-selling author. I'm telling you that not to brag, but it's a sense of accomplishment, because in that time of me becoming that 10-time best-selling author, like I said, I've helped over 70 other authors become best-selling authors, right? Plus, I've helped my clients create best-selling books. And I'm just ecstatic about that, being able to be a part of their best-selling journey. So that's why the relaunch. I've been working on this for several months. I think I put out something that said, the newly relaunched podcast is going to start in June. Then it was going to start in July. Now I was like, what the hey? I can't do this. I'm not going to push myself. I want this to be awesome. As much as I'm talking about it and thinking about it and making notes about it and telling people about it, I want it to be as awesome as I'm making it sound. So I'm pushing it off till November. So that gave me time to breathe, time to move to Mexico, and enjoy my husband, enjoy our life, and celebrate our 30th anniversary. So all of that has come to pass. We're still celebrating our anniversary because it's still our 30th year, right? Who doesn't celebrate their 30th anniversary to a person that they love, that they've been with we've actually been together for 31 years, and who I love and trust and still talk to, right? I mean, we have our ups and downs just like everybody, but we did this doggone thing. We picked up and we left the States for reals, and we moved to Mexico for reals. I just want to let you know. And that ain't no joke, because visiting a place, vacationing in a place, and moving there and living there are totally separate things, but we are happy and awesome. And as a matter of fact, we just got back from a trip to the States to do what? To vote. Now, this episode is coming out the week of the elections. Like, if you're watching this right now, or whenever you're watching it, this is after the elections, because the premiere date is November 7th, and we voted. Everybody's voting and determining that Kamala is getting in there on November 5th, right? So hopefully, prayerfully, and I'm just putting it out there, that Kamala Harris is our next president of the United States of America, and Governor Tim Walz is the VP. So we'll see when this airs what happens, because it'll already be recorded. I'm not taking anything back. This is great. Okay, so let's get on to the new stuff that's happening with this podcast that I'm so excited about. First of all, I'm going to be talking more about the best unmarketing strategy. And you might say, Carol, what is the best unmarketing strategy? It's the 3 things that I've talked about for the last 4 or 5 years that have been working best for me to make money, create relationships, create influence, and just be able to do what I'm doing. And that's moving to Mexico and living here and working here, taking my business abroad, and doing it without a hitch, basically without a hitch. Y'all know some hitches in there, but not big enough that I can say, oh my God, I wish I hadn't done it. No, I'm happy. And The best on marketing strategy is consists of three things. Number one, write a best-selling book, which is what I did. And another thing about this best on marketing strategy, there are all things that I've done, continue to do, and will continue to do because they continue to make me money, gain influence, gain followers, all of that stuff. So number one is to write a best-selling book. Number two is to create an influential podcast. And number three is to become an expert summit producer. So basically, you're writing a book that becomes a bestseller. You're creating a podcast that influences the thoughts and hearts of the people who listen to it. And you're becoming an expert speaker by holding an expert summit, right? Virtual summits. I'm not talking about live in person summits. I'm talking about virtual. Now, there are people who produced, live in person summits. Hats off to you. I'm not at that point yet. I love my virtual thing. So that's what I'm going with. So we're going to be talking more about that. I will have individual episodes talking about each one of those things over and over and over. Because the thing is, if you hear it once, you're like, oh, okay. If you hear it twice, you're going to sit up and listen. If you hear it a third time, the things that you need to do, the things that can happen because you did this, that, and the third, you're really into it. And I've got so much information over these last 4 years. Well, really since 2017, when I did my very first book, and it went to number one international bestseller. So many goodies, so many things I can tell you about that you won't want to miss any of the episodes, but I will sprinkle them in throughout so that you'll know. And each time is going to be a piece of the best on marketing strategy. You'll know what I'm talking about, one of those three things. Number two is tech time. Technology is everywhere, right? And with AI and streaming and social media and all these things that we got to do with technology, we've got to keep up with this thing. And we need apps and software to help us do it. So I have a plethora of apps and software that I've used throughout the years that are still relevant right now that I'm going to tell you about. The ones that I'm just finding out about, the tried and true ones that have been around for a long time that I've been using and benefiting from. I'm going to tell you all about those. That tech time piece will be in each episode, except for these special episodes. I'll get to that in just a second, where it's going to be a panel of a number of people. And I have two great ones coming up for you to finish off the year with. But the tech time is just, it's just going to be a quick little, this is the software you need to use. This is why you need to use it. And this is what I've done with it. So it's going to be in with the regular podcast. The third thing is what's working right now. Just like I was talking about the best on marketing strategy and how I use the book, podcast, and summit, hint, hint, podcast right now, right? So how I use those things to promote my business, to market my business, to get out there in front of the people who want to work with me and pay me for what I do, right? So what's working for me right now? What am I doing? Besides the apps and the software that I'm using, there are some other things that I am doing or have been doing, like collaboration. I love to collaborate with people. As a matter of fact, you just saw that we just finished the Power of Your Message virtual summit, which was amazing. That came out and ran from October the 28th to November the 1st. So we just finished with that. And I have a new workshop that's coming up called Beyond the Book Launch. So if you're listening to this right now, I'm thinking that the workshop hasn't happened yet, and there will be a link below in the footnotes. If it has happened by the time you get this, which I really don't think that it will, but if it has, I will still put the link to it in the footnotes so you can get the information. All right, so that's what's working now. Number 4, highlights and spotlights. I love to highlight my clients. I love to spotlight my clients. I love to see what other people are doing with the knowledge that I've bestowed upon them, that they've worked with me and gone on to do these great things, greater than I've even thought about doing. So, that's what a teacher wants, a coach, a real coach, a real authentic person. If they're helping you, they want to see you do better than they have been doing. So that's what I've been doing. I'm going to highlight those people. I'm going to spotlight them. Some of them are my clients, and some of them are people just like you from the audience. So I'm going to have a be on the lookout, BOTLO, be on the lookout for some things that I'm going to be talking about. And I'm going to say, if you take advantage of these, what the guests are saying, or some things that I've done, or things that I've said, and it's been beneficial to you, I want you to let me know either on social media, in Instagram or Facebook, or maybe you're commenting on the YouTube video or whatever. Just let me know, and you be on the lookout because I may be spotlighting you. All right, now number 5 is the Take Action Challenge. Now, when I have not these special panels of people on the podcast, which, like I said, I have 2 of them. I'm going to tell you about them in a little bit coming up. But when I have just the regular episodes, it's either me by myself doing a solo episode, or I have a guest on. Especially if I have a guest on, they are coming with some goodies for you. Not only are they going to give you something special, a free gift that's going to help you do what it is you need to do as an entrepreneur, but they're also going to issue a challenge to you to help you on this road to becoming the best entrepreneur you could ever be, right? So look out for that. That is going to be the Take Action Challenge. And like I said, if I have a guest on, they're going to bring the challenge. If it's just going to be me, then I'm going to bring the challenge. And the challenge will not be on those special panel episodes that I'm telling you about. All right. The next one is the special panels. It's right in the right place, right? So the special panels are where I'm gathering. My goal is to get at least 6, because 6 people fit on a screen really good. Well, 5 people plus myself, or 5 people plus the guest moderator. The first 2, I've had guest moderators, and I've actually been on the panel myself. The first one that's coming out next week, you'll see, and to kick it off is the Women of Color web designers. And we're going to be talking about the things that women of color web designers go through, how you can help us do better with your own website, our pet peeves, and how we are in the world. And maybe you thought, oh my God, I didn't know there were women of color web designers. Well, I'm one. And if I'm the only one you know, then you need to watch this episode next week and see some others. You'll see 3 others beside me. Plus, you'll be able to see my biz bestie, Nadine Mullins. She is going to be my guest host for that special panel, and the moderator as well. The second one, and that was already in the can. Thank God I did that. And the second one that's coming up is another special panel about taking your business global. I'm going to be in there because, remember, I moved to Mexico, but I have some others. I have another person, David's in Mexico. I have Whitney, who's in Colombia. I have Susan, who is in Germany, and she's going to have some very special information about her organization that she created to help you to vote from abroad. Now, yes, the election in the States is over. Thank God. Whew, I don't have to watch those commercials anymore. But there's another election coming up. There are other federal, there's state, there's local, and she'll tell you about which ones you need to be on the lookout for, how you can vote. She's got a whole system. Susan is amazing. She's in Germany. And then we have Crystal, who is in Namibia, Africa, on the continent of Africa, in the country of Namibia. And I say it like that because for some reason, people think that Africa is a country. Africa is a continent, and it's 3 times the size of our country, the United States of America. At least 3 times. I know that. So we all had a great chat about, our pet peeves about being a United States citizen, living abroad, wherever we are. You'll laugh. You'll laugh so hard at some of the things we talk about that are very different from what's going on in the States. But you'll also get some good knowledge about, the things that we've learned and how we've become better people, better entrepreneurs. So be sure to tune in for that. That will be later on down the line. I think it's going to air in December. So I got the 2 right now, the Women of Color web designers and Taking Your Business Global special panels. And that special panel for the overseas Taking Your Business Global will be Sabrina Hammonds. She helps people get on the right podcast for their business. And she was an excellent moderator. You'll see. We had so much fun. So much fun. Okay, the last 2 things are going to kind of be spread out throughout the episode. So you can get free coaching. And I'm saying that I think it's the fourth Thursday of the month. And I'm not going to start this until January. It'll be free coaching Thursday. So if you need coaching on a specific subject related to marketing, how to get the word out, how to get your business out there, what do you need to do first, next, last, whatever, I'm going to invite you on the show as my very special guest, and we're going to do some free coaching for our episode, right? And get you the answers that you need. So if you want to do that, then the link is going to appear below where you can sign up for that. And it's absolutely free. And plus you get exposure, and plus you'll be able to see yourself and hear yourself and be awesome, right? So the link will be below for you to do that. And then the other thing is I am accepting guests for this podcast. I want guests who can talk about different things that we go through as entrepreneurs. And just to give you a sampling of what's coming up inside the next, all through the rest of this year and the beginning of January. Remember, I told you we've got the Women of Color Web Designers, which is coming next week. I have Lisa Figgins. She is a person that's going to teach you how to redeem your time. You won't want to miss that. And she has given me a new, I guess, saying that I love to say when people are like, oh my God, I got so much to do. I can't get this, that. I'm like, honey, you have time. And you'll see what I mean when she comes on. And then Thanksgiving is right after that. So I'm going to have a short, sweet message for Thanksgiving. Not a lot. I just want us to be thankful for the things that we have and, you know, what God has allowed us to do. So it'll be a very, I guess, a sweet, short message. I'll still call it a podcast episode, but a sweet, short message that you can take and, you know, kind of look inside. I got some goodies for you on that one. And then we'll have a functional medicine expert, Dr. Julie Hafner, is going to come and talk about her new venture, Doc Stress Busters, and how she's going to help you have less stress in your life. Don't we all need that? I'm raising my hand. I need that for sure. And then the special, excuse me, the special podcast I told you about, Taking Your Business Global. And then I'm going to be talking with Sean Lane. Sean is a member of a web designer group that I'm a member of. And he had posted a couple months ago about, you know, he was starting his new YouTube channel, and I watched his initial episode, and it was so interesting. What he was just talking about life. He was talking about life as an entrepreneur, life in general, and the ups and downs. I was like, man, I need to get you on this podcast. So we had a very authentic and just wild kind of conversation about entrepreneurs, the things we go through, how the universe slips us that banana peel. You know, we slip up on it and it's like, oh my goodness, what is going on? So that was great. You love that. Would you like to get free coaching from me? Simple. All you need to do is go to unmarketyourbusiness.com/podcast. And then after that, I'm going to be talking about, remember I was talking about the best unmarketing strategy. I'm going to be talking about podcasting, how turning podcast pitfalls into biz success. And then I'll be talking about virtual summits for the win. And then right at the very beginning of January, we're going to talk about Write That Book, It's Time. So I got some great things coming up for you. Great episodes already lined up, already in the can. Whew. I'm doing what I said I was going to do. I am taking action. I'm finally getting that out there. So I can't wait for you to clue into these things, take advantage of the knowledge that I'm bringing you, the authority figures that I'm presenting to you, and the information that you're going to get. Not just the information you can put up in your brain and just for another day. No, the information you can take action on. So thank you so much for, you know, kind of bearing with me through all of this and being my silent supporter out there, because you didn't even know I was doing it, but I'm doing it for you to help you out. So this is Carol J. Dunlop. I'm signing off, and I will see you next time. Thank you for listening to the Unmarket Your Business podcast. Heard something you want to take action on? Great. Check out the show notes on unmarketyourbusiness.com/podcast. Be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss a single episode. Please do me a favor and leave a review or on whatever platform you use to access this podcast. It really helps us to spread the word and get this podcast in front of the entrepreneurs that need it. See you next episode.